Welcome to this presentation from BYU Idaho on the online team experience. As a reminder, this presentation has been adapted with permission and gratitude for use at BYU Idaho from an original work known as Virtual Team Building, which was developed by Wallace Neal Napier and Lisa Hassler Waters. Slides that do not contain this copyright acknowledgement were developed at BYU Idaho. This is part 2, getting acquainted as members of a virtual team. So on a traditional team, you get to meet your teammates face to face, and this gives you some insight about who they are. You can see how they look, you can see how they react, you can see lots of things about them because you're in their physical presence. You can observe their body language, which are clues about how they might feel or how they're reacting to something. And because you can see them, you begin to form your opinions of others in your team based on these first impressions. Well, in a virtual team, you might feel a little like you're in the dark. It's easy to feel isolated, and because you can't see any of the physical characteristics or the physical appearance of your team members, you lack this physical presence. But there are ways that you can build important relationships and get to know your virtual teammates. So you might, as you get together as a team, you might be asking, so who are my teammates? You're wondering, who are your teammates? And where are they? One of the unique things about learning in an online environment that is wonderful is that your teammates are not all in Rexburg. You'll have teammates that are all over the United States and Canada, and perhaps teammates even that are currently in foreign countries. So it'll be fun to find out where everybody is and where they're actually taking this online course. The next discussion board assignment is intended to give you the opportunity to become personally acquainted with your team members. So getting acquainted with your virtual teammates really does involve more than just introducing yourself by name. You need to help them visualize who you are and what you like and some important things about you. So here's some helps on how you might make personal connections with group members and how you can enhance your online learning experience.
Getting to know people online, at first it's a different, you don't really know what to expect just because you have no idea who you're talking to. But just when we all were able finally to meet, I remember my phone rang and it was my mom, so I was talking in Portuguese. I'm from Brazil. And then one of the kids that was in the group just happened to have served a mission in Brazil. And then just by that, we started talking, and then everybody else just kind of got into conversation. And I found that once we all got accustomed to each other and comfortable with each other, it was just easier to assign roles and get the assignment done. Whereas in the other group that I had, there wasn't really that much connection between us. So it was just hard for us to find time to meet and actually get the assignment done.
I was surprised to be able to kind of pick out their personalities a little bit better, and it was just interesting to be able to kind of get to know them through reading what their suggestions and inputs were. And I felt like after I kind of was able to do that, I didn't hesitate as much to make suggestions or have them ask some questions about what I thought about projects or things like that.
In the online classes that I've had, oftentimes we're asked to kind of comment on each other's work, whether somebody posts a thought or something and we're asked to give a response to it. And I found if I didn't know anything about the person responding to my comment, it was really difficult for me to see where their perspective was coming from. And as a matter of fact, in one class, I found out our professor had everybody fill out a little profile. We had to post a picture of ourselves and so where we're from, where we went to, where we were, what our favorite things to do were. I actually found out that my professor knew one of my uncles where he went to school. And it was just a neat little connection that I made with him right off the bat. And then as he commented on my work and asked me to comment on other people's work, it helped me to really see, okay, I see why Susie made this comment on my work. This is where she's coming from. She's a mother with 4 kids. I'm just a single college student here. And so it really gave me a much better perspective on what other students were trying to tell me.
Okay, now it's time to get acquainted. One of the things you'll do on this next discussion board is post a personal profile to help your team members get to know you. And post a picture, either of you alone or with a husband or a wife or family members or something like that, so they can actually see who you are. And here's some questions that will help you get personally connected. Like, where are you living this semester? Are you in Rexburg or are you someplace else? How long have you been a BYU Idaho student? How much online course experience do you have? Are you single? Are you engaged? Are you married? And if married, how long? And any children? And how many children in your family that you grew up in? Where are you in the birth order? Some fun things like that. You'll need to respond to all of the postings of your team members and find out what you have in common. Here's some other get acquainted questions that you might discuss. Did you serve a mission? And if so, where? What's your favorite temple? Do you have a favorite dream car? What's your hobby or a pastime that you really enjoy? Where would you go if you could go anywhere in the world for your dream vacation? And what's your favorite verse of Scripture and why? So have fun with this as you get acquainted with your team members.